Hello, Abnormal Family. Got another encounter for you today. Hope y'all are staying warm this cold weather. We got high winds today with blowing snow. It was pretty cold out. Again, I want to thank all of y'all for the support you've been giving Hunter for bringing him home. Your donations have been just great, and y'all's going to see where the money's going because we're going to keep you updated, and y'all will get to be part of bringing him home and seeing him. And also, we've been attacked by a lot of people. They're still wanting the war to go on, and I expected that from them because there can be no peace in the devil. The devil does not have peace in him, so he cannot offer it. So let's get to today's encounter, guys. Says, I have been working for a gravel company off and on for about 1 to 2 years. My second year, I was promoted from working underneath a rock crusher, shoveling gravel and keeping the belts clear for the rock crushing machine. It was the dirtiest job, but built character, and humbled me deeply. The following year, 2004, around late summer or early fall, my boss had obtained a job up in the mountains, on my res. We were crushing rock and layering it over the back roads for logging trucks. Timber being one of the main money makers in the tribe, aside from the Indian Casino, aka Legends Casino, but back to the job. We started in Old Maid's Canyon. I had my shovel ready, but my boss told me to come with him and have the shovel ready. I had been promoted to roller operator. Not only was I not working the dirtiest job I had ever worked, but my boss gave me a $2 raise for running the roller. It took me about a week to feel comfortable operating it on my own. I was on my own by the 2 days, but stuck close to the rock crusher and trucks to get more familiar with the roller. About 3 weeks into this job, I had rolled ahead so far from the crushing site I'd rarely see the trucks, meaning I was further into the mountains on my own. I had a CD Walkman to listen to music and drown out the very loud roller. Deep into the Old Maid's Canyon, a truck had passed me and dumped the gravel. The backhoe came in and passed up the truck. It leveled out it, and now it was my turn to pack it down with the roller. The vibration was turned on, and I put the roller into gear to move forward. The truck and backhoe were gone, with my headphones on, and treating this like any other day at work. I was at least 5, maybe 6 miles away from the crushing site. The roller runs slow regardless, so I can't necessarily kick the sucker into fifth and run out of there in a hurry. I was in an area where the canyon and the tree line were butted up against the road. I was rolling. The wind had picked up and blew my direction. I had picked up a stench of something that smelled like rotted meat and 7-year-old body odor. It literally made me want to vomit. The smell was so bad. I figured maybe a dead deer or elk nearby. I looked all around me and realized just how enclosed I was in the area. Canyon and trees surrounding me. To the left was a cliffside, slightly hidden by the tall tamarack trees. But I could see rock from the cliffside through the trees. I took my headphones off, pulled the roller over, and shut it off. The smell had become so strong, I knew I had to be pretty close to the dead animal or whatever was near the road. I heard rocks falling from the cliffs to the left of me, and I looked over there since it caught my attention. I also heard something grunting that was deep and muffled like. Someone or something was trying to remain quiet running up the hill or the cliffs. I gazed through the trees. The wind picked up again, blowing the stench again toward me. And I realized if I can smell this thing, then it definitely smelled, since I could hear something struggle to climb the cliff sides. Through the branches I caught the sight of the patch of fur. Fur I had never seen before in my entire life. The fur and body of it was attached to an orange-brown in color in the sunlight, and covered a very muscular back. People have told me I probably just saw a bear. My stepdad, whom landed this job for me and drove a truck for the company, even said he thought that I had seen a bear. But I know what I saw after spending years on my res. I had heard of stories of, the Spily Eye and the Bigfoot, which had been spotted in many of my reses. This thing grunted and whooped once it reached the top. I saw a good portion of what it was. To my amazement and anxiety, it looked like an ape bipedal. The face had some fur over it, and even though its coat that covered its body was orange and brown, it had a snout of a coyote, almost dog-like. It was like if Bigfoot and Dogman were to have spliced their genes and created an animal of their image. It would have looked like this. The body of the Bigfoot, it had to be around 8 to 9 foot tall. Its eyes were a sharp yellow color and almost glowed, even though it was in the daylight. It ran away out of sight. What happened in literally a few minutes had left a huge impact on me. Realizing I'm alone and miles away from the people in the crusher, I put the roller and reversed it back. The thing started my way back up the crushing site. The smell was gone. Everything seemed to return as it was before. I might add, before it happened, I didn't realize no birds or owls or anything were around. They usually would fly past me and chirp along the trees and to their nests. I noticed this wasn't happening at all. No one believed what I saw. I tried to tell my coworkers, and now my ex-stepdad. I never ventured far from the truck after that. I ended up alone. My stepdad left me with a pistol to keep on me just in case I came across a bear again. I think the person people didn't want to believe me. I was because they didn't want to fear anything while working so far deep in the mountains near Mount Adams. I believe I saw a trickster or a spillye, and they scare me to the point that I couldn't wait for this job in the mountains to be over. Once we laid gravel on all the logging roads, I never returned to this job. My mom and stepdad ended up divorcing not long after. I was 24 years old around this time. The only person who believed me was my mom. Her brother and uncle had seen Sasquatch while he was young. My uncle, bless his soul, had died tragically in a car accident when I was 9, and I never got to hear his story. But he saw Bigfoot. Our mountains have creatures residing in them. Bigfoot, spillye, UFO sightings. I've never thought I'd come across something like this in my lifetime. This is one of the experiences that has happened. I believe spillye had spared me that day. Instead of messing with me, it scurried away and grunted once at the top of the cliffs, as if to say, "You're lucky I'm letting you go," before disappearing into the cliff sides. These mountains are full of these creatures, and all over the reses. There's almost no res that does not have a sighting. You know, guys, it reminds me when I was doing the investigation on the Girl Scout murders, and I spoke to the excuse me, to the elders, and they told me that there was no that a dog man, they said, was a white man's terminology for a Bigfoot. And I told them, I said, do you not think that these creatures are different? And the elders told me, and of course they would converse among each other before the main one would answer, and he said, they are all the same. And I told him, I said, then how come, the dogmen are said to have a snout, and Bigfoot mostly don't have snouts? And this is what he explained to me. He said, you have dogs, right? He said, dogs, some are pugs. They don't have, a snout. Some are German shepherds that have a snout. Then you have your larger dogs. You got your Rottweilers. Those are your bigger Bigfoot. Then you got your smaller dogs, He said they're all the same thing. They're all related. They were just different depending on the area they lived and the breed of what they were. He said just because a Chihuahua is smaller than a German Shepherd doesn't mean that they're not all dogs. And he said all of these things are the same. Some have snouts and some don't. And one particular thing that he told me was a Gugwe. He said a Gugwe is one of the meanest ones there is, and they call them face eaters. He said they're a very dangerous one. But when you mention dogman, or when I would mention dogman to them, they would get really upset, and they would say there's no dogman. It's a white man's name for a Sasquatch that they've seen. I asked them about a werewolf, if they believed in werewolves. And they said, yes, there was werewolves, but they did not believe them to be able to transform from human to werewolf. They said that they were always that form. So I wanted to pass that on to y'all and see what y'all thought about that. I felt, honored to be able to visit with the elders and to gain the information, because it was really hard to even be able to meet with them. They had to have a meeting for a week before ever talking to me. and they said that I was good medicine, that they allowed me to talk to them. I am Cherokee, and I had to tell them that I was Cherokee before I could go. My grandpa is a full-blood Cherokee, so I was lucky to be able to visit with them, and I feel like I gained a lot of knowledge that day. Thank you all for listening to me. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you for your support, and until next time, keep your head on a swivel, and don't be something's dinner. Sorry, guys, this cat is attacking my neck. It tickles. But I will see you on the next one. Thanks for listening, guys.